after General George Patton. The M60 was the last in the line of big cast-hold, cast-turreted tanks that the United States Army adopted. And after that, of course, they'd gone for a tank like the Abrahams with modern type of armour and a more modern outline. But the M60 was a very effective tank. Strangely enough, they were never used in Vietnam. They used the old M48, but never were successful. This is M60 M1. This is the revamped engine. It's got a Continental diesel tank, which is driving an Allison cross-shaft transmission. It has torsion bar suspension, and now, like almost all tanks, the drive is all to the rear of the vehicle. And the reason M60 wasn't used in Vietnam, at least I think, was that the chances of mine damage was quite considerable, and they reckoned that if you were to blow the turn rollers off, it meant taking the hull back to the United States to have it remanufactured. Whereas if the same thing happened to an M48, you just unbolted the return sprocket shaft and put new ones on. The other tank that's coming to the arena at the same time is the much bigger and heavier M103. Dates from a good deal earlier, in fact, and it was fitted with the big 120mm gun, and the reason being that they wanted a tank with the power to take out the heavier Soviet tanks that were then appearing and were likely to be a bit of a nuisance to our ordinary tanks. It's a very impressive vehicle, M103, with a huge turret, and in fact it had to have more men in the turret than usually. It had to have two loaders because the ammunition is so heavy it came in two pieces. It's a fact worth bearing in mind that any tank with a big gun, as the gun gets larger, the ammunition gets larger, the space it takes up gets larger. You can carry less ammunition, and it's harder work than the loader to load. That's something that's probably not going to be realised by people when they can't understand why tanks don't have bigger guns. That's the reason most of the time. It's too much like hard work. The M103 is used by the United States Army. When they got rather tired of it, you didn't like running around a big tank. They were mostly handed over to the United States Police. They didn't leave work to the and now taking out the service. They were very powerful tanks in their day. The equivalent in Britain would be the Conqueror, which mounted the same gun, but which was even heavier and really quite a dominant machine. Terribly noisy when it was going down. But that tank is basically the same technology as the M60 underneath. The same chassis and engine and so on.